Hey, folks, this is Kevin Calhoun again. I'm just thanks for coming to this, listening in on this little conversation that we're having. Again, I just wanted to say that we truly believe that if you're doing business as usual, you're going to lose, and you're just basically surviving at that point in time. Unfortunately, COVID is the enemy at this point in time. And what we think is that if you're thinking outside of the box, there's really an opportunity for you to thrive rather than just survive. And that's exactly what we wanted to have this conversation today with Brett Ridoux from EduSource. He's got some cool ways that he can help folks. And so, Brett, I just appreciate you coming on today and spending a couple minutes sharing with how you guys help people thrive rather than just survive. And Brett, give us a little bit of background on you, on your company, and how you've been able to help some folks.
Kevin, thanks. Thanks for your idea of doing this. This is a great idea to get more attention out there during this crazy time. So, no, what we really try to help people who are struggling with information and how to get information, how to use it, how to get it to the right people. We see our prospects and customers really struggling in three areas. We've got people that are really just, they don't know how to handle data. They're used to the old ways of doing things, and so they do a lot of manual processes, and there's information there that they can access. They have to do very slowly and tediously. We've got groups that will they have the data, they see it, but it's sort of like that your basement, a bunch of stuff that's sort of junk that's accumulated in the basement. It's all in there. You just don't have it organized or any way to really utilize it in a productive way. So it doesn't go to the right people. It's hard to find. It's hard to access.
You must be looking at my basement, right?
Well, mine too. That's what I'm saying. That's where the analogy came from. I just go downstairs and I can show you exactly what we're talking about here.
Yep,
but
exactly.
it's the idea that you recognize it's there, but you don't understand how to really get the most out of that data. And then we do have customers that have done all those things, but now they want to start to do things with machine learning algorithms and predictive analytics that allows them to really take that data, use it in a way that helps them run their business, helps them better understand their customers and get ahead of their competition. And we at EduSource do all three.
Yeah, you made an amazing statement when we were talking a little bit before we jumped on here, is that they just have data that's not flowing. It's not flowing through the entity, and they're having to go to IT and request specific pieces of information. And so many companies can relate to that. You were sharing a great story about the way that you help Cummings out. Can you relate or just kind of reshare that for the folks in regards to how you've been able to help those individuals kind of get on the same page?
Sure. Cummings was an interesting project because they have global these service departments throughout the entire world. And because of the fact that they're everywhere and in different cultures and different continents, they really run their service facilities very differently. And some are really run smoothly and some are kind of a mess. And sometimes they're a mess that's organized. It's all different. And nothing was really under the corporate process and corporate structure that Cummins needs it to be to create the kind of environments that they could be consistent for all their suppliers. Sure. So what they wanted us to do was create a portal that allowed for the sharing of best practices, both video, text, different levels of accessibility for different people in the organization, so that you could build this commonality around all of their different service organizations. And It forces service organizations to really rethink how they run their own individual facility, but also allowed them to help each other across the world to be better, and then to get all aligned under the corporate umbrella that Cummins really needed them to be. So that was a great way just to use technology to solve really a business problem, but one that had global reach. And so it's fun to hear stories about Zimbabwe and Australia and all these places, coming together to help align their processes.
Did you have to put all that out into the different languages of the cultures that were there, or?
We did. It's a I'm not an IT. I don't do the development myself, but it's not a super difficult task to turn them into multiple languages. It's just, pulling in it from existing libraries but yes, that's good. They definitely have to have some language barriers there.
Well, regardless, I mean, there's a lot of us out there that probably think that's black magic, but I think that's cool that you were able to do that. You also alluded to, prior to the call that there was, some folks that had some data in multiple formats that you were able to help as well, or?
Well, this is one of those examples of people where we're doing more on the machine learning side of things. So it's not that the data wasn't there; it's that they were getting information from so many different sources where the information was the same, but the format of the information was very different.
Sure.
So the issue is that required a lot of manual intervention because you couldn't automatically just dump something into a database because you didn't know where it was on the individual document that came through. So we created, or are in the process right now of continuing to create learning through this machine learning algorithm that allows us to see where certain pieces of information are in these disparate documents that come through. And so then instead of having all this manual intervention, which leads to a lot of expense and a lot of potential errors,
right,
it pulls it in automatically into the database, which takes time to learn it, but it's eventually going to save them millions of dollars in the process.
Oh, that's amazing. That's very, very cool. I know every time you have human intervention, you kind of run into the one expense, but also that potential human error. So anytime that you can, make a jump to a more lean process, it definitely benefits those organizations. You've talked about a couple of different places where you've transitioned folks from where business as usual to a more lean environment. And you've talked a lot about technology. One of the things I love about your organization is how you actually go about that and how you got your name. Can you talk a little bit more about how that came about?
Sure. No, we created EduSource. Our CEO, Jason Butler, was both teaching at a university and working as an executive in a company that was using outsourced developers. And he really liked working with the students. He thought the students were producing some really interesting creative code. And it got him thinking about the idea of utilizing students as part of his team in a technology setting. So instead
of like high school and college, or
this is college. He was at a university setting.
Okay.
You got to really you definitely want the students to have a good basis of understanding of computer science. We don't want to be someone who's teaching them from the ground up. We want to take their underlying knowledge and really help it grow. So he started working with these college students in their junior and senior year and thought about calling it EduSource. Instead of outsourcing the work, you're EduSourcing the work to students.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
We have our full-time, and we have a 2-year apprenticeship program that is it's a paid program. It's full-time during the summer, part-time during the school year, and it allows these individuals to really become junior developers within the first week or two, because they get pulled in as being mentored by our full-time developers. They work under a system that one of our companies that we've worked with has developed called Enable. We brought that system into our own company. It allows them to put in a bunch of accountability measures into Agile, which is a system that's often criticized for not being very accountable. So it allows them to understand exactly what they need to do every day, how it affects the project, how it affects us as a company, and they see all that alignment through these metrics that they view every day, and the kind of root cause analysis that they do when there's something isn't going right. So it prepares them at the end of their 2 years, not only a college degree, but 2 years of hands-on experience with development, with project management, with understanding individual business parts of the business. We're a very transparent organization, so they see all of that as apprentices when they come out. So they're really ready to help be full-time guys for us, ladies for us, or full-time for another company. So that's our passion. Our passion is really to train and develop new leaders in technology.
What a huge leg up. I mean, being able to walk out of college with a resume that says, not only did I take classes, but I've also worked on all these projects as a contributor. that has just got to put them, head and shoulders above all of their competition as they're going out into the marketplace. I love you guys, basically blending, education with experience. I think that's a great way to do it. I think the apprenticeship model has a lot of legs for what we're going to be seeing in the future. So congratulations to you guys. I think that's pretty cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. No, that's pretty neat. Brett, I know you need to run. I appreciate the time. I just, if somebody wanted to reach out and have a conversation with you, what's a good way to have them contact you?
Well, best way is just to email me at Brett, BRETT, Ridoux, RIDOUX. It's a weird French spelling, but
like
at edgesource.us. And then my number is 317-975-2745, extension 709. But email is great too. We really, at first, since it's a custom service that we provide, it's really just having that initial conversation, understanding your business to know if it even makes sense to go forward. So it's you got to have that.
It's first, kind of that virtual coffee conversation, right?
Got to have that coffee first to see if it even makes sense. Otherwise, you just don't know. So yeah, let's have that conversation, especially right now where Zoom calls are the norm. Let's get on and have a virtual Zoom call anytime. So.
No, hey Brett, I appreciate you jumping on. And again, you've just highlighted the fact that if you're simply surviving, if you're just doing business as usual, you're going to lose in this period of time. COVID is the enemy, and it's really kind of forced us to be secluded in our businesses and our homes. But if you're thinking outside of the box, you should really look at this as an opportunity to thrive. And so, Brett, I appreciate the time today, and hopefully you and your family are staying safe. And God bless. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kevin. Really appreciate it.